What's going on, my free thinking rebels, and welcome to a new week in crypto and to another episode of Decrypting Crypto. I am your host, Stefan Subero, the Holistic Growth Mentor, and here at Breakout Solutions, we are on a mission to help individuals and business owners just like yourself to safely enter into the digital asset space, create passive income, and safeguard your wealth and the wealth of your family. Listen, this is a new week, and although we have begun the week slightly bearish, there's a lot of positive and bullish news. We're going to take a look at what's happening with the Ether Spot ETF and how is that unfolding and what we can expect. We're also going to take a look at the crypto markets, specifically at Bitcoin, and have a overview of what we're going to expect this week and what you should be looking forward to. My friends, if you are new to this channel, please take a moment and subscribe right now. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. How do you think the markets are going to move? Are we going to go up? Are we going to go down? Let's jump right in and take a look at what's happening. So let's take a look at this article by Cointelegraph. It says that the SEC Spot Ether ETF concerns unfounded, Consensys asserts. Let's take a look at this. So Consensys addressed the United States Security and Exchange Commission inquiry about potential fraud and manipulation risks related to Ethereum's proof-of-stake system, particularly concerning spot Ether exchange-traded funds. In a comment letter submitted to the regulatory agency, Consensys, the blockchain and Web3 software development company responsible for the popular MetaMask wallet, stated that concerns about fraud and manipulation are baseless. In fact, Ethereum's POS implementation meets and even exceeds the security of Bitcoin's proof of work, which underlies Bitcoin's based ETFs that have already been approved for trading in the SEC. Now, Consensys also highlighted that Ethereum boasts a larger developer community than Bitcoin and operates on a fully transparent and public blockchain. Consensys urged the SEC to acknowledge Ethereum's superior security features, surpassing those of Bitcoin-based ETF previously approved by the SEC. And finally, they go on to say that several firms have spot ETF applications pending approval and or denial, including Fidelity, Hashtags, and ARC21. Also, let's include in there Grayscale and also Blackrock have ETFs pending. And one thing I know about Blackrock, if they will not submit something unless they think it's going to be approved. I think they have like a 99% approval rate for their ETF. So just something to drop in. Look, my friends, overall, I think Consensys is extremely on point. And again, you might have different perspectives on proof of work or proof of. And it's really interesting to see that because depending on what you believe, again, Bitcoin, there's no doubt that Bitcoin is the number one, the big daddy in the place. And Ethereum, number two. Definitely, in my opinion, not a security. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. May 23rd, we should have some updates on this. Now, let's jump into the markets. Yes, my friends, we are beginning the week in red. Bitcoin down 5% today. Ethereum down 6%. BNB is down 3%. Solana down 4%. Overall, the markets are having another pullback as Bitcoin has failed to break that $71,000 mark. Again, you'll see the Fear and Greed Index back down to 70%, still in the greed zone, and we've been kind of fluctuating, right? Moving up, coming back down. Now, if we take a look at the Bitcoin rainbow chart, we can see again we are testing this support right now. We've kind of been breaking below, coming back up, testing the support right now, creating this symmetrical triangle, which I'm going to show you guys in a little more depth on the charts in a second. But this is just telling us this is a major, major, major area where historically, again, in any of the other halvings, any of the other cycles, we always get some form of price action holding us back or moving us forward. Again, halving is still a little bit ahead of us. So I believe until then, we could see some more downwards action until maybe a couple of months after the halving, which is when historically we'll finally see the massive parabolic move. We've already had some of it, but there's still more to come. Now, let's jump into the charts and let's analyze the charts from the macro, and we'll go down. So we're going to start at the monthly, then we'll go all the way down to the 4 hourly and kind of see where I think. So look, overall, we are super, super bullish on Bitcoin. For the last 7 months, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months, we have printed green candles on the monthly. This actually has never happened in Bitcoin's history before. You can take your time yourself and go verify that if you want to, but we've never had 7 green candles consecutively. Now, this also signifies that we are extremely overbought. The price of Bitcoin is obviously very, very, very high, much sooner than anticipated. And in my opinion, a cool-off period is necessary. Should we be printing a red candle now? Hey, definitely a possibility. Do I think it's good and healthy? Definitely do. So overall, from a macro perspective, there is a huge potential we could have a red month of April, maybe potentially come back down to these lower zones in the 60,000s area. We're going to zoom in a little bit more and kind of see what the potential for that is. So if we jump in now on the weekly time frame, right, we can see that we have printed a very big red candle, and we're now testing the bottom of this support right here, which is creating currently a symmetrical triangle. Now, at this stage, if we do not hold the bottom of the support, which is laying somewhere around that 65,100, I think potentially the next zone we will start to look at will be that 60,000, 61,000 area. So right now, holding this support is key for us to maintain these levels and not drop any further. Now, same thing if we come into the daily time frame, we can see we are creating some room for the upside. We are still moving down in the trend exhaustion, but potentially we can see a reversal at this stage. I believe I have gotten some reversal signs on the 4 hourly. Now, if we look at this previous pattern, we had an inverse head and shoulder breaking out to the upside, did not hit the top of its target exactly, but we kind of created an area of massive resistance. We've just been moving and ranging sideways, and then we lost this support once again, and we have come back down. Okay, now finally, if we look at the 4 hourly, definitely some room for the upside has been created in the trend exhaustion. So a potential reversal is definitely could be happening this week, right? And if we look at some of the signals, 2 buy signals, one yesterday and another one today on the 4 hourly, with these 2 other confirmations, this could definitely mean another move up in Bitcoin. Potentially, again, we could just range within this pattern, because if we look at it right now, this is a symmetrical triangle, like I said before. And normally, again, in a bullish scenario like we're in, I see this more as a uptrend continuation. If we can continue bringing this back up, maybe we come back to this 68,000. We can just range in this zone even until after the halving, right? And potentially see a breakout maybe somewhere here. That is a possibility. Right now, the zones to look out for and to pay attention is going to be support at around 64,400. Like I said, if we break this and confirm a close on the 4 hourly, I do believe our next target is going to be somewhere in the 60,000 range. And again, until we break this downtrending resistance now, which is going to be laying somewhere in that 68 to 70,000 zone, then I don't see any potential upside moves yet. Okay, so this is kind of the macro down to the small view of what I think is going to happen in crypto this week. And listen, my friends, we're also going to look at the ETF inflows, right? Because that's been playing a big part. Last week's inflows were not that great. We had a bit more outflows than inflows overall. Hence why I believe, again, we don't have that momentum to push the price upwards. We're going to have to wait and see what happens this week and potentially in May if we get that approval for the Ethereum ETF. Now, before we move on, let's drop a small message from our sponsors. As the world sinks deeper into debt, your hard-earned money loses value daily. The solution: safeguard your wealth with smart, diversified, and decentralized income strategies. Breakout Solutions is on a mission to take back personal freedom, individual rights, and financial sovereignty. As the era of CBDC's digital IDs and social credit system approaches, it's crucial to act now to safeguard your financial future. Introducing the Future of Money, your guide to what's happening and what is coming. Join our 90-minute session to equip yourself, your loved ones, and your business against a system bent on control. Your time is precious. Don't waste it anymore. Use the link below, join our next virtual event, and access my exclusive bonuses. So what do you think, my free thinkers? Drop me a comment. Again, are we going to go up? Are we going to go down? Are you bullish? Are you bearish? That's a good question. I'd love to hear your answers. And before we drop this video, look, this is really, really good news. And again, this kind of shows the importance and the bullishness that is in the overall, especially in mainstream media right now. Mainstream is bullish, bullish, bullish. And let's listen to this interview from Larry Fink, the CEO of Blackrock.
I'm very bullish on the long-term viability of Bitcoin.
I was going to say, did that surprise you?
That surprised me how much that's gone up. We're creating now a market that has more liquidity, more transparency, and I'm pleasantly surprised, and I would never have predicted it before we filed
Never expected this
that we were going to see this type of retail demand.
So you thought you'd do good, but not this good.
Yes. Yes.
Well, IBIT is your ETF over at iShares.
Yes.
It's about to overtake Grayscale, which was in the business certainly a lot longer. You look at the gains since January 11th when it first came about.
Yes.
Have you ever seen this much inflow this quickly?
IBIT is the fastest growing ETF in the history of ETFs. Nothing has gained assets as fast as IBIT in the history of ETFs.
So Ether is next with an ETF?
We'll see. That's under registration.
Okay, so let's just not talk about your product.
Right.
Talk about Ether. The SEC, there's lots of noise about them declaring Ether a security, which would take it out of the Bitcoin category as a commodity. How does that translate into an ETF?
I don't think that, look, and I really can't talk about it, but I don't think that designation is going to be that deleterious to.
Oh, really? So even if it's a security, you can start an ETF, an ETH ETF.
I think so, yeah.
Well, that's why.
There you go. So look, they don't care. Look, again, I don't think personally, I don't think that the SEC is going to rule out this. Again, they honestly have no reason to do it. We know how connected the government and BlackRock is. So at the end of the day, if BlackRock has an ETF for Ethereum, 100%, I think that is going to be approved. You heard Larry Fink saying it there. Even if they don't approve it, they can still potentially launch it. I don't know how true that is, but my free thinking rebels, that is really bullish in my opinion. And I hope you enjoyed this video today. My friends, that's all I got for you. I'll see you in the next one. Stefan out.